All right, let's get right into it. How on earth did Austin, Texas, the city of live music and breakfast tacos, suddenly become the absolute epicenter for America's next-generation defense industry? It's an incredible story, and we're going to break down exactly how it happened.
To really get this, I want you to picture something. Imagine a sprawling ranch out in the Texas Hill Country. You've got these advanced drones slicing through the sky, and on the ground, AI-powered turrets are tracking their every move. Now, this isn't some Hollywood blockbuster. This is the new reality of weapons R&D, and it's happening right now.
And this quote, right here, it gets to the absolute core of it. This isn't Silicon Valley, where the big prize might be a slightly better way to sell ads. No. In Austin, the mission is, well, it's existential. The entire focus on national security, on making sure America stays ahead in a world that is changing faster than ever. So what we're really witnessing is the birth of a totally new kind of American frontier. It's this wild, fascinating intersection where that classic tech-world mantra of move fast and break things is slamming right into the immense scale and serious mission of the U.S. military.
You're going to hear this line again. It's a theme that runs through this whole story, this powerful idea that this perfect storm of culture, capital, and innovation, it really could only have brewed in one place. It was always going to be Texas. So how did this happen? It wasn't an accident. To understand Austin's incredible rise, you have to look at the entire ecosystem, that specific, potent mix of talent, money, and government policy that made the ground so fertile for this defense tech revolution.
Look, this didn't just happen overnight. The foundation, it was laid way back in the 80s with the whole Silicon Hills semiconductor boom. But the real catalysts, the game changers, those were deliberate moves by the federal government. When the Defense Innovation Unit set up shop in 2016, and then Army Futures Command planted its headquarters right in the city 2 years later, that was like a giant neon sign for the entire industry. It said, this is the place to be.
And on top of all that, you've just got these unique Texas advantages that you really can't find anywhere else. I mean, no state income tax? That's a massive magnet for talent and for companies. You've got affordable land, which means you can actually build and test heavy-duty hardware, something that's basically impossible in, say, California. You've got a world-class pipeline of engineers pouring out of UT Austin, and maybe most importantly, you have a culture that sees this work not just as a job, but as something honorable, as a patriotic duty.
And if you're wondering about the economic impact, well, just look at this number. It's staggering. We're not talking about some small niche industry here. The defense cluster now makes up nearly a quarter of Austin's entire local GDP. That is a huge footprint. And it shows you just how central this has all become to the city's identity and its economy.
Okay, so we've covered the why, Austin. But what about the who? Let's zoom in on the people, the titans, the architects who are literally building this new world from the ground up. You've really got two massive figures who symbolize this entire shift. First, you have Joe Lonsdale. He co-founded the defense tech giant Palantir, then moved his incredibly influential venture capital firm to Austin, and immediately started pouring money into the next wave of defense startups. And then, of course, there's Elon Musk. His decision to move Tesla and dramatically expand SpaceX in Texas created this massive gravitational pull, sucking in the best engineers, tons of investment, and the world's attention.
And just to give you a sense of scale here, Musk's Gigafactory alone employs over 20,000 people. This isn't just about a few headquarters moving. This is about rebuilding an actual physical industrial manufacturing base right in the heart of Texas.
And these two images, they show you the two sides of the Austin coin perfectly. On the one hand, you have the raw, rugged, get-your-hands-dirty testing grounds like a place called Prototown. And on the other, you have the official, buttoned-up world of the Defense Innovation Unit, the polished bridge that leads straight to the Pentagon. You need both for this to work.
And that's why places like Prototown are so important. It's a community built on that old-school frontier ethos. It's a place where young, brilliant engineers can actually live affordably, build and test physical things. We're talking heavy-lift drones, new weapon systems, you name it, without all the bureaucracy and costs of a typical city tech hub.
And the kind of tech that's coming out of this ecosystem, I mean, it is straight out of the future. You've got Allen Control Systems with its Bullfrog AI anti-drone turret. Bravo Ordnance is literally 3D printing warheads. Anduril is building these incredible AI surveillance networks, and Saronic is creating entire fleets of autonomous warships.
But look, this isn't just about cool tech being tested on some Texas ranch. This is the crucial part.
The innovation happening in Austin is being put to the ultimate test on the most intense, modern battlefield in the world today, Ukraine.
Which, of course, brings us to the billion-dollar question, right? Does any of this new fancy tech actually work when it really matters, when lives are on the line? Well, let's find out.
You see, one of the military's biggest historical problems is getting technology from a startup into the hands of a soldier. The red tape, the bureaucracy, it can take years. That's where organizations like the Defense Innovation Unit, the DIU, come in. They are the facilitators, the gap bridgers, and their job is to slash that timeline and get new tools to the front lines fast.
And the answer to our question is a resounding yes. This tech is having a massive, direct impact. SpaceX's Starlink has been an absolute game changer for Ukrainian communications. Companies like Bravo Ordnance are shipping components directly to the battlefield. Endural and Shield AI have drones in the air supporting Ukrainian defenders. Even that bullfrog turret we mentioned was directly inspired by the brutal lessons being learned from drone warfare in this conflict.
And if you want to talk about real-world scale, just look at Starlink. This number is almost hard to believe. It is now serving over 5 million people in Ukraine. It has become the literal communications backbone for their military and their civilians, all of it managed by a company with deep, deep roots in Texas. So what does this all mean for the future? Well, the key thing to understand is that this doesn't seem to be some temporary trend or a flash in the pan. We are looking at an enduring, fundamental shift in the landscape of American defense.
And that just brings us right back to where we started, that combination of wide-open space, top-tier talent, a business-friendly government, and a culture that truly supports the mission. It all points to one place. It really does feel like it was always going to be Texas.
So we end where we began, out on the new American frontier, in the Texas Hill Country, where a new generation of builders is forging the technology that's going to define the next era of American military power. The work is just getting started, but the foundation is rock solid. The source material we've been looking at puts it perfectly, with 3 simple but incredibly powerful words. The arsenal is rising. A new industrial base, a new way of innovating, and a new center of gravity for America's defense is being born. And that leaves us with one final, provocative question. As this new American arsenal continues to rise, is its capital city now Austin, Texas? After everything we've looked at today, it sure makes you think, doesn't it?